Happy Wednesday, March 5th, 2025 in Louisville, Kentucky. This morning it was 60 degrees and now it is snowing and about 39 degrees, I think. Headed to the Lynn Family Stadium to check out a Q&A session and a meet and greet with Racing Louisville FC, our women's professional soccer team. Never been to something like this before, but it's open to season ticket holders, so I thought I would take advantage of it. Hope to get a few pictures. I don't know how much I'll be able to video, but I'm going to try. And the weather is really crazy. We've had 50-mile-per-hour winds, so I'm not sure how crowded it's going to be tonight because the weather is not pleasant. But I'm looking forward to this, so we'll see how it goes. And like I said, I hope to get some pictures and some video. If not, then you're not going to see much of a video, I guess. But for now, let's get parked and let's go check out Racing Louisville FC. Hi, how you doing?
So the picture will be right here, so they'll go and
You can just
take the picture and the players are back there.
Okay.
Autographs, and then you come back out this way.
Got it, cool.
Hi guys, how you guys doing?
Not messing around.
Bethany Balcer, the head coach of Racing Louisville, and 4 of her players. So, unfortunately, for the 6 of us on the stage, we're going to have to share 3 microphones between us, so we'll just have to kind of shuffle them back and forth. But first things first, I figured since there's so many of us up here, why don't we just go down the line and introduce ourselves to everybody. We have a couple of newbies, obviously, who you may not know. So let's just go right on down and say hello.
Hi everyone, super excited to be here with you all today. My name is Bethany Balcer and I'm the head coach of Racing.
Hello, I'm Bethany Balcer and I'm a forward for Racing.
Hi, I'm Sav DeMelo and I'm a midfielder for Racing.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm Sarah Weber, I'm a forward and it's my rookie year.
Hi guys, I'm Allie George. I'm a defender and this is also my rookie year.
Well, like I said, if anybody has questions, feel free to line up. I have a few questions off the top just to get the conversation going, but get your brains working on what you want to ask these fine folks up here on the stage. We'll start generally, Bev. Preseason, you guys are getting very close to the season opener. not to spoil one of the answers for you, but it is a week from Saturday. Hopefully everybody got that one right. How's preseason gone? How do you feel like the team is coming together ahead of the start of the season?
Yeah, I feel like it flew by. I'm sure these ladies would agree. We mapped it out when we originally started, and the first PowerPoint that we had, we said 52 days, right? And it feels like that was incredibly quick. It's been good. It's been really good. I feel like what we were able to gather as a staff in self-reflection at the end of season. I think this is cutting in and out. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Okay, no worries. It was coming in and ensuring that we did everything we possibly could very early on to ensure that there was a clear and concise concepts into the preseason itself. So I felt like for us, we really wanted to come together as a group, really start to talk about what the culture is within the group, what our non-negotiables are, et cetera, but also take the time needed to really invest in each other as a group, spend quality time together early on, but also be very clear and concise in kind of what our expectations are as a club. I have felt very confident in the preseason and how the players have consistently given everything through all of our asks. But I think more importantly, we've looked to work together in all of those aspects and be collaborative in every stance that we can. So yeah, I feel very good about it. I hope the players would say the same, not just because I'm sat here next to them. But yeah, very, very good preseason.
Well, let's ask the players, see how they answer that question. Let's start with the newbies. Obviously, we have two rookies, but also Bethany. This will be her first preseason with racing since she joined the team in August. So we'll start down the end with Allie. How has your first professional preseason gone thus far?
I think it's gone really well. I think the older players have done a wonderful job of integrating us younger ones.
Hey, Allie.
Is it not on?
Yeah, you just bring it closer to your mouth. You got it, right, just like that.
I think everyone's done a really great job of integrating the younger ones into this culture and making it very clear, like Bev said, what our goals and what our standards are. It can be definitely scary coming into a new place, but everyone has done a fantastic job of making this feel like home and making us feel super welcome. So it's been going well okay. It's been going well so far, and we're excited for next week. So.
Super well so far as a tongue twister. Yeah. Sarah, what about you? Your first professional preseason, how's it going?
Yeah, just to honestly echo what Allie has been saying, like, we've spent the time up to this point, like, really just getting to know each other and, like, buying into our team goals, team anchors, and, like, what it actually means to play and compete for racing as a club, and then also for this city. So yeah, the message has been super clear, and it's been a lot of fun so far. Yeah.
Both, what about you? Obviously, you're a veteran in the league now compared to these two young ones down the way, but your first preseason with this club and this organization, how do you feel like it's going for you so far?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I'm tired, so I feel like that's a good sign that
Yeah,
we've been
probably a good
working
sign.
hard. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that this is my 7th preseason. Yeah, really, I'm kind of new with them, just trying to figure out the identity of this club and then buying into it. And I think that messaging has, as you stated, just been really clear. And I think just the pride we have for representing you guys, representing this club, has grown so much, and we're all excited to, I think, play games. That's why we do what we do. You know, preseason's fine, but we want to get out there and perform, and so I think we're all itching to do that and show everybody what we're capable of this season.
And then Sav, for you, among this group, you're like the wily vet. You've been around longer than anybody in racing Louisville anyway. How does this preseason compare for you to the preseasons of the past that you've been a part of with racing?
Yeah, I feel like my first 3 years, I think it was, we had a lot of turnover with players and stuff, and I feel like this is kind of the first year where it's a lot of the same group of girls and staff, so I think we're all on the same page as to what we want to do and the goals we have for the first game of the season and leading on, and I think it makes it a lot easier to bring the new ones in and kind of have our standard and our foundation as to what we do.
So obviously I would imagine, I'm speaking for you guys here, so tell me if I'm wrong. Making the playoffs is probably the #1 goal for you guys as an organization, as a team. I'll point out that last year, despite narrowly missing out on the playoffs, you guys still had a ton of success. Most wins Racing Louisville ever had in a single season with 7. Absolutely. Worthy of cheering. Highest scoring regular season ever for Racing Louisville, 33 goals over the course of the campaign, and also their most successful season in the standings, 28 points, the most they've ever been able to gather over the course of the season. So, but in terms of not just the results on the field and the hope to make the playoffs, what are the goals for this team this year in your mind, Bev? Is it about living to your values? Is it about playing a certain style? How would you say in 2025 what you think the goals for the team are?
What are the team goals, ladies? Because we see the slide every morning, and I've fortunately, I guess that we joke about it every morning. We've got ordered our team goals and our non-negotiables. Turns out I'm not great with measuring, they're large, so I can attest to that, so they're really smack you in the face every day, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I would be curious to see, make playoffs as one of them. I'd be curious to see what they can remember, so I'm gonna put them on the spot.
Positive goal differential.
Yes.
Win 3 games in a row.
Yes.
More than 10 points on the road.
Double digits. but
Double
okay.
digit. Yeah, okay. Same.
Sav, anything to add?
Have fun.
Oh yeah, we want to have a positive home record, so focusing on winning more.
Yeah, we can cheer for those too. Do we have anybody lined up for questions yet? Is this young lady lined up for a question, or are you just hanging out over here? No questions? Anybody have a question? Come on up. This is the object of this event, is for you folks to ask your questions.
I'm the president of Louisville Legion, so this is mainly for Allie and Sarah. We do banners for every player, so do you guys have any favorite colors or designs or anything, or puns for your name or anything that you guys would like in your banner?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, my nickname's Sweat. Just right off the bat. That's what I go by. That's what everyone's been referred to me as. For like patterns and stuff.
Colors. You guys, some artists, not great, not super artists, but we can try.
Okay.
This might be the most important question you
Okay.
have.
Yeah.
You guys are thinking about it. Okay. Let's see. I love blue and I love pink. Yeah, I do really like bows. And I do wear like a white ribbon, so there's that. Just go with bows. We'll see.
I don't really have anything.
I need to get back to you.
Yeah,
I need to get back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, maybe a little room for creativity without Allie's banner. Let's talk about the rookies. Bev, we got 2 of them here tonight. It is notable that we have 2 of them here tonight. An interesting rookie class. Obviously, the draft goes away in the off season, so I'm sure that's been part of the equation for you in the off season. But what strikes you about the young players, the four newbies that have joined the group this year so far in preseason?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting navigating no draft. It's interesting for multiple reasons. I think when you have an order and you have an idea of where you sit in a draft, and you do some sort of, everybody's mock draft is a little different on how they would order certain players, but you're almost like, you're looking in your quote-unquote bracket of where you think that your specific pick would be. So this year, with everybody having access to all of the players, it was a lot more work in such a good way of identifying players across the board and specific positional needs, but also spending a lot of time having conversations in regards to obviously talking about your city and selling your city, lots of Zoom calls, lots of these types of pieces. And I think this off season was spent on the additions that we were looking to bring in. It was very based around what we felt we were going to identify from a culture perspective. So it was a lot of film of understanding, okay, this is what the player looks like in this position, this is where we feel they could be highly coachable, but also what do they do when they lose the ball? What is their behaviors? What is their characteristics? So it's more than just jumping on Y-Scout and going, what's their long range passing? What's their passing under pressure? What's their accelerations? What's their 1v1 duels? That's all fine and dandy, but we expanded that. We went past that and tried to understand who is this player characteristically through film, on top of what we've been able to see in person, on top of having the Zoom chat, on top of doing the characteristic checks. So when you go through all of that, we have been so excited about the individuals that we've been able to bring in, because we feel so confident in all of the conversations that we've had with them, everything that they've been able to do here in preseason, everything that they've brought to the team, not only on the pitch, but the massive positive influence they've had in the locker room. And I cannot express this enough. You have to have a team that's bought in inside the locker room, because who they are in there and how united they are in there is what you're able to get out on the pitch. So we've been very pleased with these players coming in, everything they've contributed, and on top of all those returning, we just feel like we're in a really good place.
Can you give, for the fans that haven't had the opportunity to see these young players play yet, can you kind of describe what they bring to the table, what kind of players they are? Just a thought on all four of them.
Yes, of course. Okay, who do you want to start with?
Wherever you want to go. We got two of them here.
Okay, yes, Sarah is Sweats, I guess. I don't know why I called you Sarah, I never called you Sarah. She is, and I think you guys would contest this, like an absolute beast. Watching her play for Nebraska was just a joy. It's like you can't stop watching her. She is just a pest with the ball. She's a pest without the ball. And she's just one of those players, when you look at it, you're like, she causes so many problems so consistently, you just can't ignore her. Then having the Zoom with her and getting to dive into who she is as a person, what her goals are, this type of thing, it was just a no-brainer. So incredibly excited that she's here. With Allie George, obviously we've had opportunity to see her in the W League pretty consistently. And that was a great opportunity for us outside of her experiences at Virginia Tech. Felt like she's local, she loves the club's in her blood, on top of what we believe she can develop and become, and wanting that to all come together for us was really important. And so just her leadership as well, for such a young player to have the maturity that she has, the perspective that she has, it's been such a massive addition. So very pleased to have her here. And Ella Haas, she has been a massive addition as well. Obviously, she spent time at Northwestern, then transferred to Duke. Watched a lot of her film in reference to what she was able to accomplish at Duke. She has just been very influential. She just doesn't stop. She's quite like an Energizer bunny, if that's a thing. If I may reference that, she just covers a lot of ground at a very, very consistent rate, and she truly just never stops. So for us, it's been such a great addition to have her. And again, I can't explain how much of an influence they've had inside the locker room as well. Yes, Katie O'Kane. Katie O'Kane is a true testament to a player that has earned a contract. I don't think a lot of people talk about those stories anymore. She came in at Pro Day. She was invited into Pro Day. We watched her at Pro Day and felt like she was one of the top performers at Pro Day. Felt the need to invite her into preseason. She came into preseason and she just kept catching our attention. I'm like, she won't stop standing out in certain aspects. And she has earned herself a contract that I believe is fully earned. We believe as a staff was fully earned. So a very unique story. You don't quite see those anymore. So yeah, very pleased with her attitude, her determination, and the influence that she's had here very early on.
It's great stuff, great stuff. We have a little line now. So let's hand it over to some questions.
Hi, my name is Lucy Anderson. I'm 11 years old and I'm really into soccer and I play soccer as well. And I was wondering if you had any tips for me as a young beginner soccer player.
Tips for a young beginner soccer player. Let's start with the players to get your all's tips, because it wasn't that long ago you were a young beginning soccer player for a couple of you. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
If I could just give one piece of advice, it would be to practice as much as you can, like on your own, like separate from your club practices or like whatever that looks like. Like take time to actually work with the ball by yourself and just continue to develop your love for it.
I would say just to have fun and enjoy it. I would do anything to go back to my club days and just tell myself to have more fun, not put so much pressure on myself, because they go by really quickly, and then before you know it, you're in college or, you know, soccer, you're not playing soccer anymore, so just take everything you can and appreciate them.
To kind of go off that aspect of keeping it fun, I think it's important, like, to find other things that you're interested in as well. It doesn't, like, we're all soccer players, but there's so much more to who we are, and I think it's important to not get so focused on the one thing. And so one way to keep soccer fun is to do other things and be involved in other things and have other interests and hobbies, especially at such a young age. So that'd be my piece of advice.
To piggyback off of these lovely ladies, I would just say to believe in yourself. Like, everyone's story is different, everyone's path is different. So just never stop believing in yourself.
I mean, I think they nailed it, didn't they?
Yeah, I was gonna just touch a little bit off of Allie, and I think everybody's journey is a little bit different. Once you lose the love for something, it becomes no longer fun. So I think as much as possible, just identify if it's something that you really enjoy and what makes you happy about it. And really, really put some time into those friendships that you make along the way. I don't think a lot of people dive into those aspects of who you meet. I'm sure in 10 years from now, you're gonna reconnect. So make friends along the way, and you never know where those friendships can go.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you guys like the new kids?
Do you like the new kids?
Yes, I really like the new kids. I didn't think they would be able to top the one you're wearing, and I think it's a close second for me, but I do really like them still.
Which of the two kids is your all's favorite? I know that's a tough question.
I think it's the Argyle one still, for me. But I like the green. I think it makes us look tan and.
Do you like the fit?
You look good in that one anyway, so.
Anybody else with thoughts on the kids? The rookies?
I like the concept behind it. Back to your roots. I think that's really cool. So it's good. I like it. I'm a true local.
Yeah, back to my roots in a different way. My high school was actually that green color. So it feels good to be like wearing that color again and competing, yeah.
Good question.
Great question. You have another question?
No.
No? Great question. What do we think about the kids? Are we fans of the kids? Yeah? We like them?
Did you guys play for any club teams, and what club team did you play for?
What club team did you play for, like growing up?
Well, I played for the club that you're wearing on your shirt. So I played for Javanon, which is a local club here. I played there since I was a little kid. So yeah, I loved it.
You guys aren't gonna know what club I play for, but it's Gretna Soccer Club, literally the town that I grew up in.
Gretna.
Impressive.
I played for a club called Beach FC. It's in Long Beach, California, so far away from here.
I played for the Georgetown Rangers.
I do think this would be a good opportunity, Bev. I had a comment from this couple, I believe it was, told me before that they were interested to learn about your playing career. That they maybe weren't quite as familiar with your playing career. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to hear about it as well. Just about your playing career, what led you to become the coach of Racing Louisville. Talk about the clubs you played for, just like they had.
Okay.
We got an hour.
I'll go surface level because my playing career doesn't matter so much at all.
Well,
But
before you say that, the tie-breaking question has to do with their playing career, so it does matter to the trivia.
Okay. I was first drafted out of the University of Miami. I'm the first player to ever be drafted from the school in 2010 into the WPS, so the league before the NWSL. I played 2 seasons for Washington Freedom at the time, and then for Western New York Flash. Our forward line, I joke all the time, was Christine Sinclair, Alex Morgan, and Marta. So I just had the best job in the world of just breaking up play and kind of dishing it off to the side, letting them do their thing. After the league had folded, we won the championship in PKs. Actually, a fun story. I got subbed in extra time in the final match to win the WPS championship, and got 2 yellow cards. I was supposed to take a PK as well, so I had to sit in a trailer at the time. Times have come very far, which is great. I had to sit in a trailer and just listen to the crowd as they were going through PKs, and I was supposed to take one shot. We had gone into them, and we ended up winning. I felt so much guilt the whole night, but had a few beers, which was great to get over it. And so after that, the league had folded. Well, when the league folded, I got a call a week before the league was supposed to start from my agent. He said, there is no league anymore. And my heart sank on the phone, and I thought, well, no longer am I going to be able to do what I love. It wasn't about the money. It's never been about the money for me. but I wanted to continue playing. At that time, they had already scheduled a trip to Japan for preseason to play at the time Ainak Kobe. And they said, is anyone still interested in going on the trip? I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want to think about the fact I don't have a job. I would love to go. So a bunch of us went, and during our first game, we were getting absolutely balked about. I remember looking at the ref going, how much time's left? I actually asked the ref in the game, I'm like, how much time's left? Because this is absurd. And after that, they invited four of us, to training. I said, I can't wait to see what they do. Their technical and tactical awareness was beyond. My age at that time was 24, and everything I had experienced in the U.S. system, along with 2 years professionally. So I went to the first training session, and after that, we got a knock on our hotel door, and they had offered me a year-long contract. I called my husband, he can attest to this in the room, he's somewhere around here. I said, we were engaged at the time, I have the opportunity to go to Japan for a year long, and at the time the league was only 5 months, so I had to find a job for the rest of the year in order to make ends meet. And I said, it's the Barcelona of women's soccer. And he's like, okay, then if I had a chance to play for Barcelona, I'd go. So we got married in 2 weeks. And shipped everything out there, moved to Japan, played for 2 years, and that's when Seattle Reign came to play against us in preseason. Tall, blonde girl out on the field, and Laura Harvey at the time said, are you American? She's like, are you interested in coming back to the league at some point? I'm like, yeah, actually. And so that's how I made it to Seattle Reign and completed an entire NWSL career with the Reign. But that's really where my coaching career took off. So post-Japan at 24 years old, I started getting my coaching license and owned my own coaching business the entire time I played. I trained 7 days a week. And I ran the entire business. I had coaches that worked for me. I scheduled coaches' sessions. We did small group trainings, and that's just really where my love came from. I kept asking myself, why after all this time at 24 years old, do I feel so far behind technically and tactically? I felt like the system here had let me down, if I'm honest. And that's where my passion just took off. I knew at 24 years old, as soon as I was done playing, I wanted to coach. I enjoy it. I enjoy educating. I love the feeling of seeing a player do something either they knew they could do but finally executed it, or something they believed they could do but just needed to be pushed. Like, my joy comes from, I'm a people person, and my joy comes from seeing people accomplish things. And yeah, that's really kind of where it took off. But I was average. I actually asked Laura Harvey after one draft what my speed was, because everyone talks about, the GPS and speed. I said, what was mine? She's like, a 28. I'm like, dang. So I was not fast at all. No. But I do believe I can attest to this. I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off. So that's definitely, those experiences and who I was as a player has influenced who I am as a coach, but also who I was able to work for and be coached by has heavily influenced my experiences and who I am as a coach as well.
That was a great answer. We'll argue with you on one point. You said that you were average. At one point in your career, you were an MVP finalist, so I don't think that's average. Which is also deserving of applause. If you all we have more questions.
Hey guys, I'm Joe from the Lavender Louisville podcast. My question is mainly for Sweb and Allie. You're part of the first class that, from college to pro, got to choose where you wanted to play, versus going through the draft and being told where you're going to play. Allie, I know your answer is a little obvious, but basically, why did you choose racing?
Yeah, it was actually after my conversation with Bev. I just remember getting off the phone with her after we had gone through just different tactics and all the stuff that she was telling me, that just the vision that she had and the coaching staff had for the team. And I got off the phone and I called my agent and I was like, that's somebody that I want to play for. Just like, and you guys probably heard it too just now, just like the passion in her voice. Like, she loves the game and like, she wants to like give the very best version of herself to the rest of us, and so do all the other coaching staff and all of our staff. So after that phone call, I was like, that's somebody that I want to play for, and like I can get behind. Because you go out in the field, like you're going out to war, right? It's battle, and you just want to trust your fearless leader.
Yeah, like you said, I think my answer is pretty obvious. But I really wanted to give back to this city that just gave so much to me. Like growing up here, we didn't have this until I was a senior in high school. So being able to like show younger kids that you can come from the city and like make it out of here is something that I want to be for these younger kids. But also just being able to represent your city is something that a kid dreams of. So I'm just living my dream.
So to follow up on that, for Sav and for Bethany, what have you made of these rookies coming in as players with experience in the league, and Sav, in your case, experience with this club and this organization? What do you think of these two young players and the other two that joined them in the class? Putting you on the spot right in front of them.
Yeah, they're all right. They're great. They're such good additions to the team, and I think like it's a testament to like Bev kind of explained the process. Like you're looking at every detail about them, and you want to get players who will just put their head down and run for the team and be selfless. And I think she did a great job finding players, and I think that they've integrated really well. And they're fun to be around. So I mean, win-win.
Yeah, I think they're awesome people and awesome players, and I think one thing that really caught my eye was just how coachable they are and how much they want to learn. My rookie year, I had so many great older players that like taught me so much, and just the fact that they're coming in with so many questions and wanting to learn as much as they can is a huge plus. And I think they've already tremendously are like with the pace with us and like competing against us. Like I hate going against them, so yeah, figure it out.
Well, we had a conversation about the kits earlier. I think our next questioner clearly likes the new kits because they're wearing. So go ahead.
How did you pick your number?
How did you pick your number? That is a very good question. Whoever wants to start.
So I obviously came in with Jalen Howell, who's like one of my great friends, and we got to pick our number, and she picked 6. Like we rock paper scissors for it, and she won. So I wanted to be next to her in the locker room, so that's why I chose 7.
8 was taken, so I made it 88. So twice as nice, you know.
Well, I was 24 growing up, playing, and in college it was taken, so I just flip-flopped them to 42, and I kept it. Yeah.
My whole family wore the number 12, so when it was available, I was like, this is it. So I'm number 12.
Before she goes, what number would you be if you were on the team? What's your favorite number?
7.
Hi y'all. First, just thank you for doing these. These are like my favorite things to come to. So thank you all for taking the time to do it. We all know women's sports is having a moment. I think that's putting it lightly. We saw earlier this week that Sabrina Ionescu invested or joined the ownership group of BayFC. If you could have your dream investor, preferably a woman, but your dream investor generally, to join Racing's ownership group, who would it be?
Might need some time to think on that. A couple of seconds.
And then we can all bother them on social media, get them out to a game, get them to a bet.
Bev just said I don't need time to think. She's ready, so go ahead.
Beyonce.
I have 2. Caitlin Clark, I mean, she's a GOAT, but she not that far in Indiana, so I feel like that would be awesome. But I mean, I think we all know Jennifer Lawrence is from here, and she's an amazing actress, so like that would be awesome.
Anybody else? Jennifer Lawrence is a great answer as a Louisvillian. This is a terrific answer.
Okay, well, what came to mind was Serena Williams. I grew up watching playing tennis, or I played tennis and I watched it, but like, she's just a winner. Like, she's won so many things. I think that would be pretty cool.
Any other answers here? Need some time to think on it, though.
Taylor Swift, because she probably has a lot of money. She could sing our national anthem for her.
I think if he hears to Redland Family Stadium, she'd be here for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like she'd just continually sell it out. Yeah.
This is really random, but like Gal Gadot, just because she's my favorite actress, so it would be fun to meet her.
Great stuff. Any other questions?
No, that was fine. Thank you.
That was a good one.
So obviously, like she said, women's sports is really, coming up. But as amazing as this team is, as amazing as the NWSL is, we still have frustrating low attendance numbers. Are there, or I guess, what are plans to try and get those up, and what can we do as fans to try and get those attendance numbers up?
I'd say that's probably the $1 million question in the room. So kudos to you for asking. Anybody want to, Bethany, you have an answer?
Well, I think one thing is, at least that us players, I think, really want to do is just get out in the community more and find people who don't even know that this team exists. I mean, I was out the other night and it was brought up that we play professional soccer, and people are like, what? Like, for who? And so the fact that people don't even know, even though there's this incredible community and there's billboards everywhere, like, we want to get the word out there because we want people to be a part of this and buy into what we're buying into. And so I know for me and for us players, like, we would love to just continue to have events like this and just get out, and whether that's volunteering or whatever it looks like, just to bring people in, to just make them aware that we even exist, that we're even here, because I feel like that's half of the issues. People just don't know right now, and so whatever we can to help bridge that gap, I think, is something we're working on. The rest of the answers probably with higher ups.
Above our pay grade, right? Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? How engaging with the fan base, growing the fan base? Bev, what would your message be to any prospective fans? Let's think about it that way. Maybe if, obviously everybody here has already bought in and invested because they're season ticket members, but how about this? Let's arm them with the message to go talk to their friends who maybe are not believers just yet. What would you tell them is your sales pitch to come out and support this team this year?
Yeah, I would say just that. I would say bring as many people as you can. If it's a friend that's maybe interested, bring them for their first game. It's just different when you come experience it. It's one thing to want to support it. It's another thing to actually come and support. And I would just say very simply, these ladies work day in and day out to be the best version of themselves, to represent this city. To represent the city in every way, shape, and form. They've moved here away from family, away from friends, away from so many things to do what they love for a living. And they're here to represent this city. They're here to represent all of you, all the community that's not here. And it's in their heart, it's in their souls, and they don't stop because they want to be here and represent you all. So I would just encourage people to come out and support them in that aspect. They wear that logo with pride. And I think the more people we can get in the stands, the more it becomes a thing. I think this is also something to discuss, is when you're playing at home, it should be an advantage. People should fear the crowd that they're about to experience, and it should also enhance our energy, whether for us on the sideline or for the players on the pitch. So I think just that alone will be amazing for us this season. Yeah.
For what it's worth, from what I hear, ticket sales for the home opener and the Thunder game are going strong as of right now. So hopefully there will be a few more folks coming out to games this season. Go ahead.
We're also very entertaining.
Yeah, there you go. Hey.
And you're going to want to see some of our goal celebrations that we've got planned this week. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I've been following on Instagram. I can't wait. So I did not grow up watching soccer or playing soccer or knowing anything about soccer until 2 years ago when I was invited by a friend to come watch, and really became a fan of racing, the community. And still learning about soccer. Everything I learn is from the Butchertown and Lavender Louisville podcast and watching you all. That is really the extent. But part of that is really that community. And huge fans because ticket holder now and advocate because of that community. But I'm curious, as players, what do you hope that you're known for, both on the pitch, but then off of the pitch when it comes to being part of this racing community, whether it's what you want to be known for now or if and when you move on and do other things that you hope you're remembered for here?
It's another thought-provoking question. It may take a little moment to ponder. Look at Sav. I mean, she's got the thinker statue looking at her.
I think for on the field, I think we all can attest to this. We're competitors and we're winners, and I think things are going to start to change when we show this city that we are winners. I think for off the field, me personally, I want to continue to connect with the community, especially being from here. Again, just like how I said before, this place is so special to me. So being able to show people that I do this for my job, but I'm also a person. So if you see me out in public, let's chat, you know what I'm saying? So being able to have that connection, I think could really grow in this community.
Yeah, I think on the field, I mean, I think everybody wants to win. So, like, going off, like, competitive, yes. But also, and I think this goes, honestly, for both, like, on and off the field for me, is just, like, selfless, like, giving everything I can to, like, my team and the coaches, and, like, really putting the needs of the team first. And then same thing with the community. Like, I want to, like, be involved and, like, give back. And, like she was saying, like, actually, like, form conversations and build relationships. Yeah, so we can, like, actually feel that support going into the season of the games.
I would say entertaining. I feel like I hope when people come to a game, they think we're entertaining and fun to watch. And then for off the field, just knowing like how much Louisville has been a home for me, and like my loyalty to this club is like always gonna lie here. I have like a house here, like my family loves it. I've grown to love it. I lived my whole life in California, and when I got drafted here, I did not think I was gonna want to stay, but I've really come to love Louisville, and I see it as my home away from home. So.
Anything? No? Beth, do you have a... Maybe I'll rephrase the question in a way. How would you like the reputation of the team? What kind of team is this team going to be? When people watch this team play, what are the characteristics that they should come away with?
Yeah, I think a little bit to answer it and then answer yours. I think as a player, one of my biggest things was always, no matter what, when I walked away from the game, I wanted people to say that I was one of the best teammates they've ever had, that I was able to relate to them in some fashion. It was always something that I really relied on as a player, my intuition to understand this player's new, this player needs a little bit of help. Hey, here's where the gym is, here's how you do this. This player's been in the league for a few years, but it's a new team. They don't know how things go here. So that was always a big piece of who I was as a player. And now transitioning into this role, it's been very clear for me that I want players to walk away not saying, nobody's going to say that's the best coach I've ever had. It's not the reality, right? The reality is I would like them to walk away and say, I learned something. Right? I can't give everybody minutes. I have to, there's so many things and so many pieces from a management perspective that go into it. So whether it was a tough lesson, that 3 years from now they go, I really appreciate what you did for me, but I didn't realize it at the time, then I feel like I'm doing my job. I'm never looking for instant gratification or instant satisfaction in any of what I do. I'm just looking to be able to provide everything I can every single day for these players, as much and as often as possible. It's the only thing that drives me. It's the only thing that drives me. So I hope that that is how I'm remembered at some point. If it's 10 years from now, or 1 year from now, or never, which is okay too, I understand. But that's what I hope to get out of it. And then obviously from us as a group this season, I hope that people just see that we, I've said it in our film room, we just want to be fucking annoying. Thought I was in my film session. No, we just want to be, annoying, we want to be hard to beat. We want to be hard to beat in every aspect. We want people to fear every time that they play against us. So that's what we feel, yeah.
Javanan is back.
I love coming to the games and watching the games and getting autographs after the games. When you were a kid, did you like getting autographs after the games and getting pictures?
Yes. I have a memory of, I think it was, what was the Del Sol in LA? Was that
Yeah, that was WPS.
Okay, so that was and I'm like not a very outgoing kid, but my friend was, and she threw her shirt to Marta, and Marta gave it back to us, and I still have that shirt to this day. And so being able to just play against her and see her career just take off, and just knowing I got that autograph meant everything. So I always try to make sure to get everyone's autographs also. Sign them.
Anybody else with a good autograph story that they want to share? Maybe let's change the question slightly. Who is a player that you looked up to as a kid growing up, like these young kids may look up to you all? Who was that person for you when you were a young player?
Mine was always Julie Ertz. She was just a workhorse on the field. And she's just done a lot for women's sports, but she's definitely my favorite player.
Anybody else? Everybody in agreement on Julie Ertz? And Marta, I suppose, too? Bev, who was your favorite player growing up?
I'm gonna put a little age stamp on me. Mia Hamm was my favorite player. And also, Abby Wambach was one that I grew up watching. Actually, funny story, when I was in college, I got a phone call to be a part of a Gatorade commercial, and I was Abby's like stunt double. Is that what you call it? Yeah. So yeah. This is private. And I went to the commercial, and I literally had to do everything she was doing, and I'm saying that right? Stunt double.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot what. So, and after that, I got drafted to the team. And on the first day I showed up, and she's like, "You look familiar." I'm like, "No, I don't." I've never seen you before. I remember telling my husband, I'm like, "I'm so nervous. This is so awkward." I was in the commercial, now I've been drafted to her team. She's gonna think I'm a super fan. It was so awkward. And of course, from day one, she said, "You look familiar." So yeah, she was definitely one of my favorite players growing up, for sure.
Great question. That was a great question.
She's back. There you go.
Do you guys have any pets? And what are their names?
Do you have any pets and what are their names? This is a real great question.
Yes, I have a rescue pup. His name is Frisco. He's a Chihuahua mix, he's a mutt, and he is my whole world.
Frisco's 3, she says.
I have 2 cats, Theo and Frankie. They are also my world, and I also have a dog named Evie who lives with me in Louisville, and a dog named Milo that lives in California.
I don't have any pets currently, but Ella and I, my roommate, we actually just went to the shelter the other day, so stay tuned. I'll be back to you.
At my home, I have 2 dogs. One is a mini golden doodle, his name is Champ, and one is a golden doodle golden retriever mix named Link.
Do you have a pet?
Yeah.
What kind?
A dog.
What's his name?
The cat is Mia and the dog is Julie.
Bev, you got pets too, right? Tell us about your dog.
Yes, I have 2. I have a blue-nosed pit bull named Avocado, and I have a pit bull hound mix named Maverick. Maverick's, I think, 125 pounds, and then Avocado's about 75. So they're large. My daughter will see the Chihuahua. My parents have 2 Chihuahuas, and they can't believe you can actually pick a dog up. Yeah, but they're great. Love them.
Good question.
Another great question.
This is kind of related to attendance. I feel like the local TV sports media is kind of letting you guys down. They'll spend 2 minutes rehashing a college basketball game. If they're on the 11 o'clock news after one of your matches, they'll do about 20 seconds. I was wondering if we get more coverage, we'd have a bigger fan base.
Well, as the newest member of the communications department, I'm sure that we're doing our best to try and get some folks out to games. Sure, I don't disagree with that, and I understand the points that you're making. Anybody have any input or thoughts on local sports coverage of you guys? Go for it. Oh, you disagree in agreement. Got it, yeah. Bev says play the full highlight. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement with you, yeah. What I will tell you is I'm 4 weeks into the job, so I'm starting to build those kinds of relationships, but I think part of it is relationships. Part of it is us reaching out to them and making them feel welcome. Because I'll also say that we had somebody who earlier didn't know soccer back there, said you weren't really familiar with soccer. I think that's a barrier to entry to some of those folks, because they didn't grow up watching soccer, they're not familiar with it, and in their position, they're afraid to ask the stupid question. So as I continue on this job, I will encourage them to be willing to come and ask the stupid question, so that they may feel inclined to continue to come. Go ahead.
Do you guys like to play video games?
Video games.
Oh my word, yes. I just got into it. Yes, I do. It may or may not be a problem right now, but I do. But I still go to work every day. Yes, I do, and I play lots of different games. Do you?
Yeah.
What games do you play?
I like to play FC24.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. You can play as our team now.
That's right.
You know that?
I've played as it like 500 times.
Oh, amazing. I love it. That's what I love to hear.
Love it. Any other gamers on the panel? No?
I play Mario Kart once in a while. Yeah, Payday on my phone. It's pretty entertaining.
Good question. You got another question? Any other questions? Well, next time you play FC25, score a bunch of goals with these 4 players specifically.
This question is for folks. First of all, I appreciate your advocacy for mental health and small dogs. A little bit about the difference between coming in mid-season to a team as a new player and then being able to go through a full preseason, and how that's different and how that maybe changes your outlook and your relationship with the team.
Yeah, I think coming in mid-season was really hard, and I don't think I was really able to process it until season was over. Just because you get a call on a Friday and on Monday with your new team, and you have a game that coming weekend, and so it's just kind of a whirlwind of emotions, like mentally and physically you're tired, and you're playing with these new girls and trying to figure them out and find relationships with them, and so that's not something that just happens overnight. You can't really figure that out in a week, and so just trying to be patient and trust the process was, I think, something I had to do last year, and so I was really looking forward to coming back and just, obviously, I'd known the girls, we're all friends, it's great, but just to be able to really dive deep in the way that I wanted to form those relationships off the field was a highlight of this preseason, and obviously continuing moving forward, it's been really fun. But I think that was something that, I missed last year, just by the nature of everything that happened, and so I think we talk about this a lot, like what goes on in the locker room is so important for what goes out on the field, and so I obviously wanted to buy in and contribute in the ways I could in the locker room, and it's been fun getting to know the girls off the field and creating those relationships and friendships, because Bev has talked a lot about this, but when you know someone, there's just like a little more urge to fight for them when you're out on the field, when you know like a little more piece about them, and so I think that aspect of learning that this preseason was really cool, and obviously not something that I necessarily had time to do last year. So yeah. Thank you. Good question.
Great question. Any other questions? We've got.
I just gotta.
Go for it.
Actually, for the group, I don't know if you guys set it up that way, but it's Bethany, Sav's, and Allie's birthday this month. So can we sing happy birthday? So I'm sorry, Sarah was like last month. So So can we sing happy birthday?
Oh.
We have a request for a chorus.
What name do we say?
Racing.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, well, would you like to lead it?
Who got you?
You're putting the onus on Scott? Or are you
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Racing. Happy birthday to you. Any other questions? Go for it. We're going to wrap up quick. This is
This is my first time being a season ticket holder, so I'm excited. And the reason for that is because I attended my first game last year and fell in love with the place. So you're very entertaining. We just need to bring more friends out to see you guys. And I started getting on YouTube because I wanted more content, and you had the little Heine Brothers chit chat with players. And I know some of those players are gone, but we need more of that because we see you on the pitch and we love to play, but we also want to know who you are, and that gives us that content.
Well, as the newest member of the communications department, we'll do our best to bring you that going forward. But I'm sure you guys would love to be a part of it, right?
Follow me on TikTok. I'll give you all the dances and everything you want to know about me.
Where can they follow you on TikTok? What's your handle?
Bethany Balcer.
There you go.
Yeah. I made a couple today, so.
Unless anybody has any other questions, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Last one, maybe?
Sure, yeah.
Jeff, I want to follow up on your comment about the Japanese and European training and our problems. And, it's an international sport. NWSL's way up there like the U.S. women's national team. But other countries are kind of catching up to that. They're investing in that. And how do we keep NWSL at the level it is now? Is there any thought to go into the European schedule? I think getting rid of the draft was a good first step. And what about ever having an American version of relegation and promotion or something like that? And do you think maybe perhaps there's an advantage to being off season and as the rest of the world? The rest of the world doesn't see it that way.
Sure. I think the only way that we continue to invest in this league progressing forward and continuing, I think we've seen one of the biggest attributes about this league is the fact that every single game is extremely competitive. So when you're talking leagues in France, leagues in Japan, they have very good competition for the most part. It's different for every league, whether it's 6 teams at the top, whether it's 8 teams, whether it's 4 teams, it's very different. But I think everyone can attest in this room, and these players up here can attest to the fact that this league is every single game. From top to bottom, this league is incredibly competitive. So that alone, continuing to have that competitive nature, I think makes this league so intriguing to so many players and obviously coaches, etc. I just think that the way that we continue to progress is the fact that the league is that way, but also investing in the players, bringing in good staff, good people that continue to develop the players and attract that talent. And then I'm sure at some point, I don't know where the conversation is on matching the calendars. I don't know where that's at whatsoever, but I don't know if that will be a discussion at some point, but I do just think, and I want to say, that's what makes this league so different than any other league in the world.
Okay, I think.
Sorry. One last question. Who do you look forward to playing against the most and the least?
That is a great last question.
Turn it off.
I look forward to playing in LA just because I get to go home, and I feel like that is a really cool stadium that I grew up going to watch games at, and I played there once in college too, so it was cool to go back there. And then my least favorite would probably be Kansas City, personally, but.
I was saying, do you guys have one? I'm most looking forward to going back to Seattle and winning. At least Portland, because I hate Portland.
Okay, everybody, let's give it up for Racing Louisville players. Bethany Balcer, Bethany Balcer, Sarah Weber, and Allie George. Also, their head coach, Bev. We're going to settle some trivia, so you guys are free to go, and we're going to give out some of these bench warmer tickets. Okay, we have 6 people that are tied with 9 correct answers. So I'll read those names out, and if you want to stick around for the tiebreaker, come up here.
Thank you.
Alan Spade has 9. Holly Freeland. Joe Havel.